Long ago, in the prosperous kingdom of Ifeoba, a decree was made that no twins should live. They were seen as abominations, their birth considered a sign of treason, a treason against the gods. Any family found guilty of birthing twins was punished. Often through execution, they were killed. This decree had ruled the kingdom for generations upon generations, a tradition unquestioned by kings or subjects alike. The queen, revered as the mother of the nation, had borne no child for many years. She was barren. Her barrenness brought her ridicule and concern, for without an heir, the kingdom's future hung in uncertainty. The king summoned herbalists from far and wide. They brewed concoctions and performed countless rituals. Sorcerers offered charms and promises, but none bore fruit. The queen remained childless, and the kingdom began to suffer and falter. Crops failed, rivers dried, and whispers of discontent grew louder. Desperate for a child, the queen abandoned her pride and visited a small missionary church in the outskirts of the kingdom. This was after several attempts to visit herbalists had failed. She could not conceive. Even ritualists and sorcerers could not help her. At the missionary church, it was a place stoned by many for its foreign ways. But the queen's desperation outweighed her fear for public scorn, because the royal family were not seen around the missionaries or its church. Rather, they were known for worshipping their idols, and they were majorly traditional worshippers. She knelt and prayed at the altar of the church with all her heart. To her astonishment, her prayers were answered, and months later she conceived. When the day of delivery came, joy turned to terror. The midwife trembled as she presented the queen with her children, twins, a boy and a girl, Paul and Paulina, she would call them. The queen's heart swelled with love and joy, but her joy was quickly smothered by dread and fear, because twins' birth was a taboo in the kingdom. The decree that had existed for generations now stood to claim her own children. To save their lives, the queen mother made a heartbreaking decision. She gave the girl, Paulina, to the midwife and ordered her to take the child far away. Paul, the boy, was brought home and declared the kingdom's prince and the only child of the queen. Paulina, on the other hand, was adopted by a servant maid traveling to another kingdom, where she grew up as a princess, cherished, loved, never knowing her true origin. She was adopted by the neighboring kingdom. The two children existed differently in different kingdoms. A tragic reunion. 25 years had passed. Paul grew into a strong, charismatic prince, groomed to inherit his father's throne. Paulina blossomed into a beautiful and intelligent princess. In her adoptive kingdom, the two kingdoms had grown prosperous, rich, wealthy, and sought to solidify their traditional and cultural bond through marriage, inter-kingdom marriage. When the two royal families met, Paul and Paulina were introduced as potential partners. drawn to each other's charm and unaware of their shared blood and DNA. They quickly fell in love. Their union was celebrated. They were married in a grand ceremony that symbolizes peace and unity of the two kingdoms. Lest did they know that they are siblings from birth. A year later, the couple had a child together, a beautiful boy. But soon after his birth, calamity struck. Crops withered, famine struck, livestock were dying, sickness, epidemics was rampaging the kingdoms. Both kingdoms suffered. The markets were empty, famine in the land, and people grew restlessness. Priests, sorcerers, elders answered, but found none. It wasn't until the chief priest of Ifoba performed a sacred ritual that the truth was revealed. Standing before the two kings, the priest's voice trembled as he proclaimed an abomination has taken place. 25 years ago, the gods were defied when twins were separated and spared. Those twins have now married and birthed a child, bringing the wrath of the gods upon us. The room fell silent as realization dawned. The queen, now aged and frail, wept openly, confessing the truth. Paul and Paulina were left devastated, realized their love was forbidden, a cruel twist of fate crafted by their parents' desperate attempts to save them. The price of redemption. The priest declared that the gods demanded a sacrifice. The child should be sacrificed as a burnt offering of the union must die. Both kingdoms erupted in chaos. Paul and Paulina pleaded for another way, but the gods' decree was final. The decree was that the child born should be sacrificed to please the gods, and the marriage between Paul and Paulina, the siblings, be dissolved forever. The kings of Ifoba, torn by guilt and duty, ordered the child's execution immediately. On the appointed day, the child was taken to the sacred grove, where the priest performed the ritual. As the child's life was taken, the skies cleared, rains returned, the land began to heal and prosper. The kingdom mourned, but they also learned a lesson. Their suffering, caused by the killing of twins and secrecy surrounding their birth, had led to unimaginable tragedy. The king abolished the decree, declaring that twins were no longer a curse but a blessing. Aftermath. Paul and Paulina, broken by grief, returned to their separate lives. The kingdom rebuilt their prosperity and restored their peace. But the scars of the past lingered. The queen spent the remaining years in solitude, praying for forgiveness from the gods and her children. The love between Paul and Paulina died and became more like a family bond. From that day forward, Ifoba kingdom and his neighboring kingdom vowed to honor in all forms of life, twins or triplets. The tale of Paul and Paulina became a cautionary story, a reminder that it was not the gods who cursed the land, but the cruelty and ignorance of men. And so the kingdom learned a painful lesson. Don't blame the gods for the consequences of human folly. The gods are not to blame. Thank you for watching, guys. Subscribe, follow us, and share for more.